turning on all of the lights. Make my paradise. Roses are red and I'll get what I fantasize. Where's my invite? Open the doors and they turning on all of the lights. Make my paradise. Roses are red and I'll get what I fantasize. Do you know what I dream about? You see, I just wanna be free. In the Beverly Hills, taking Beverly pills for the Beverly thrills of the Beverly Hills. Too much to ask for, is it too much to want? All the things that I can't afford, and you never see me beg for it. The Illuminati's gotta have the room for just one more. I just wanna be Illuminati. I just wanna party with endless Bugattis and hanging out with Guardians. I just want the favors and all the fucking papers pouring out my save. I just wanna be Illuminati. I just wanna party with endless Bugattis and hanging out with Guardians. I just want the favors and all the fucking papers pouring out my save. Where's my invite? Open the doors and they turning on all of the lights. Make my paradise. Roses are red and I'll get what I fantasize. Where's my invite? Open the doors and they turning on all of the lights. Make my
hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own.
But the government is allowing people from other countries to come over to work for pennies. You don't want to have kids. The government is allowing people to come over from other countries who already have kids. You don't want to work hard. The government is allowing people to come over who has kids who will work for pennies but will also work hard. They'll work harder than you. See, a lot of people are trying to prove a point. Millennials, Gen Z, doesn't matter who. People in general. And nobody gives a fuck about your point. What's happening is you're digging a hole so deep, trying to prove a point that nobody cares about, that when shit hits the fan, because it will, you're going to be so far deep in that hole, you're not going to be able to get yourself out. And you can't look to ask anybody else for help because a lot of other people dig in that same hole. It doesn't matter how you feel, you adapt to what's going on in this country, this economy. Everybody is not fucking broke. A lot of people don't have a money problem, they have a spending problem. A lot of people, you're a materialist, you're a consumerist. All you do is consume, buy material, not put money where it's supposed to be. Why this, why that, rebuttal this, rebuttal that. And in the end, it's all on you. It's nobody's fault but yours. You don't want to work, cool. They're going to go find somebody that does want to work and work far less for what you want to get paid for. It's like it's not gonna matter what you think or what you feel. Somebody's already taken your place. So what are you gonna do about it? Sit back and do nothing? Nothing is guaranteed. Doing nothing guarantees nothing. Change is inevitable. Stop trying to change that. You need to adapt. Stop acting like a kid and get your ass up and put some work in. Not one job, 2 jobs. Yeah, $100 is not a new 20. What if that never stops? What, are you going to sit back and have no money? Money is always going to be around. Even if you change it to a different form, if it's always going to be some type of currency. What are you going to do? Sitting down doing nothing is not going to give you an edge, an advantage. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing because everybody decides not to work. They don't give a damn. Soon as the majority of the people in America stop putting in work, are not being disciplined, all the results of their actions is coming back to smack them in the face. The government opened up their borders and said, y'all come on in. The people that thrive in countries where they have far less, we're going to let y'all come on in here and take advantage of what the Americans don't want to take advantage of. Life was never supposed to be easy. I said in a previous video, some of us have inherited and are exercising the same habits and ideas and beliefs that people before us did, and they had nothing, so you learn from somebody who knew nothing, had nothing, and what you think you're getting right now? Nothing. But it hurts, don't it? It's insulting almost. But you need to be mad at the people that lied to you, not the people that's telling you the truth. Now it's time for you to go counter that shit. Sitting down doing nothing for so long, doing what you want to do is cool. But the results shall follow, consequences, freedom of choice, doing what you want. The price you pay is the results. Okay, how you counter that? You're going to have to do a lot of shit you didn't want to do. It's the only way. Because if you continue that path, you're going to get nothing. See, I knew since high school, people blaming the government. Oh, we love to play the blame game. It's always somebody else's fault except ours. Man, I knew this when I was 16 years old, before graduating high school. Stop blaming the government. Stop worrying about the government. Stop trying to pick a side, Democrat, Republican, because who cares? Those people are not going to help you. The road of life you're walking on, you're going to have to walk it alone, even if somebody's next to you. They cannot walk this road for you. When are you going to realize that? I realize it. People younger than me realize it, but you got people older than me, they don't realize it. You got people my age, they don't realize it. Man, look. If you're 25 years old and up, you need to at least have $10,000 saved up. If you don't, you might be fucked. If you're living at home, you should definitely have, at that point, you have no responsibilities, no kids. Your parents probably ain't making you pay any bills or do anything. Why are you not working? Because it don't matter, right? Okay. Keep that mentality. When the results come, don't play victim. Nothing needs to change. You need to change. Change is inevitable. Stop trying to change that. If you're 30 and up, I'm sorry, you need to have 20 grand. $20,000. If you don't have it, I'm not saying you're a loser or you're fucked, but switch your mindset. You got to get you some money out here, man. We like to say money is not everything. Okay, some people think it's the only thing. All I'm going to say is this. Money don't move. Money don't sleep. Money don't talk. Money don't breathe. Money doesn't die. Money is not born. Money doesn't talk behind your back. Money doesn't manipulate you. Money doesn't do anything. What does money do? Money does what people tell it to do. So is money the root of all evil? Hell no. People are. But what is that? That involves your mama, your daddy, your grandmother, your grandfather, your neighbor next door, your cousin, your best friend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, people. See? So you have to be disciplined with this shit. You have to understand you love thy neighbor, but you also understand that people can do dumb shit. People do things with their money. And when those consequences come back, they start looking funny. Don't look funny. Accept what you've done and deal with that shit like adults. We got male bodies, female bodies that are considered adults, but we have children in the inner of those bodies walking around making dumb decisions. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's what everything in life. Don't look down on money. No, people do dumb shit. Everybody. Be the person that don't. Set yourself to a higher standard. You are better than those people. All these cope quotes we like to, you're not better than everybody, everybody's the same. No, the hell everybody not. Everybody not broke in America. God damn it, no way. I posted a video showing how I made $30,000, well, saved $30,000. Not made, I made a lot more than that and I had to brag. But to save $30,000 in 8 months, you got to make quite a bit of money. I made a video talking about me saving $30,000 in 8 months. You had a lot of people that use it as inspiration, motivation. You got a lot of people who even made more, saved more. But you always have that few, that percentage, that they can't accept it because they're not doing it. Change your mindset. You tell them that, they get mad. See, everybody's triggered by everything. Spend less time being triggered. Spend more time figuring out how to solve your problems. Are you going to be a solution to your problems, or are you going to create problems that everybody else got to find solutions to? You know, people who make a lot of money, they solve problems so they get paid for it. We're not taking away the value of if you create, you get paid. A lot of people want everybody else in the world to do things for free. How dare you sit on your ass and want somebody else who worked, put in the work, sacrifice to come and give you something? You get up off your ass and go get you something. If you don't know how to do it, figure it out. You tough. You got it all figured out up here. Figure it out in real life. Stop running from reality. Fantasies are going to cost you. Reality is free. It's right in front of you. You ain't got to go nowhere to see it. That motherfucker right outside. As soon as you wake up and open your eyes, it's right there. You ain't got to go nowhere else to seek it. You ain't got to go around the block. As soon as you walk outside, as soon as you get out your bed, it's right there. While you're walking through your house, it's right there. It's in your mind. It's on TV. It's on your phone. We're distracted by everything. And at the same time, we're doing nothing. Doing nothing guarantees nothing. Nothing is guaranteed. See, I'm not here to brag, but I'm not worried about not having money. I got it. Am I saying I'm rich? Absolutely not. In the future, I will be. I'm not worried about people coming over here from another country to work hard, because my father came from another country and worked hard. So me being a first generation American from my father's side, not my mom's side and every generation prior to her was already here, I picked up on hard work. I picked up on when you have nothing and you still take care of it like it's everything, you do everything. Like if you don't put work into it, you will have nothing. So I worked 16 hours, 18 hours sometimes. I've pulled 100 hours in 1 week. I've made $3,500, $4,000 in a week. I've crossed $13,000 after taxes in a month, $14,000 after taxes in a month. I'm not worried about nobody coming over here and outworking me, but I'm the American. I'm the one that's supposed to get on TikTok, create petty stories, sympathy stories. Everybody got a story. I'm not going to do that at all. Not because I'm judging those people, but everybody got a story. I don't have time to tell you guys how life is tearing me down when I got time to put the work in. The same amount of energy it's taking you to create that damn sob story video to go get views, to somehow get paid on social media, you could have put the same work in to go get money in other fields, just like I do. I make videos of me actually working. I make videos actually me crossing $600 in one day, $700 in one day. If I add trading profits, it would be even more, but we're not even going to get to that yet. See, I'm not here sitting around making excuses. I'm always looking for solutions. And I'm here to tell whoever's watching this video that resonate, don't step out of your frame. This is our element. This is our country too. Everybody ain't damn broke. A lot of people got broke minds. A lot of people gonna talk. It'll never be anybody doing better than you talking as much shit as somebody who's doing worse than you. And when everybody on social media every day, all they doing is seeing somebody doing better, whether the person is or not, you shouldn't even be that much involved because you should be busy. But when you see these people doing better because they post their good life all the time, now you want to compare yourself. Comparing is the killer of joy. Don't compare yourself. Put the work in. But for the people that's putting the work in, keep working. And another thing that might insult you. We're so distracted. People don't want to talk about money. The same people that don't want to talk about money, right? I've realized this. We don't want to talk about money, but go on social media. You got people making sad story videos about money, complaining how the world ain't this, ain't that. People point out in the comment section, well, if you would spend less money on this, if you didn't care how you looked, and show off culture and riding around in a car that's new instead of having $20,000 in your saving account, they get triggered. But another thing I noticed, people will talk about somebody's relationship, somebody's religion, somebody's height, somebody's skin color, or somebody's beauty, who's ugly, their teeth, their penis, their vagina, who's a whore, who she's sleeping with, who's he sleeping with, what the president doing, what the neighbor next door doing, what their best friend doing, who their daddy screwed, who their cousin had. You will talk about all of that, but you don't want to talk about money? Money is a resource. You can't eat money, but you need money to eat. You can be a hunter. You can be somebody who grow plants. Before you're in a position to do all that, you need a foundation, and that's more than likely going to consist of money. It doesn't matter your sexual. We'll talk about somebody's sexuality, which doesn't matter. What these people are doing shouldn't matter to us, right? This is how I talk to myself. What nobody's doing doesn't matter. But at the same time, who are not telling us that what we do has consequences? Do I have to get in front of the camera and tell the world? If I do, let me remind you, everything you do has an action and an opposite reaction. You sit on your phone and watch TikTok for 8 hours, you're not getting paid. You just wasted 8 hours. That bill's still coming in. Inflation gonna do what it wants to do. You can't control it. Stop crying about it. Somebody gonna pass away. You can't stop that either. Your core beliefs are not gonna do anything for you. You can walk with those beliefs, but you need to walk and put yourself in the presence of just action, 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 while still living, but action. Not sitting down saying, I want to live my life. Doing what? Watching TV for 12 hours? That's what you want to do. No problem, right? Consequences. Are you going to deal with the consequences? Yes or no? If the answer is no, nobody cares. Stop complaining. If the answer is yes, same response. Stop complaining. Because if you do deal with it, that means you do things to counter it. One thing I'll never take is hope. Because that's what most people, that's the only thing they got. But coping? Absolutely not. Don't cope. If you're lazy, get up off your ass and work. This is how my dad talked to me. This is just how I talk. If you don't like it, I'm not going to apologize for it. Get off your ass, put the work in, or accept that you're just a lazy person, but you're going to have to deal with everything that comes with being lazy. Nobody's going to do anything for you because they're too busy working, as they should be. Life is never supposed to be easy. Modern society, ancient society, any society, civilization, culture, whatever you want to call it, any economy, there's ups, there's downs, there's have-nots. It's people that went from poor to rich, and people that went from rich to poor. It's people that didn't give a fuck, they dealt with it, and it's people that gave a fuck and they dealt with it. All that revolves around what? Action and consequences. You decide what to do, and you are defined by what you do, not what you say, what you believe. Talk is cheap, action is expensive. Get your ass to work. Sitting around talking, trying to win debates, being a debater, not an achiever. Being a conversationist, not an actionist. All that stuff yields no results. Poor man competition. But guess what? The poor man from other countries coming over here and they out competing your ass. And they're not going to stop. And I commend them. Keep going. They laughing at a lot of people. Let them laugh. They deserve to. This shit is not. Let me sit down and have a good life by doing nothing because I'm a good person and all that jolly ollie boys. Man, stop it. You gotta work, man, especially you men. It's age groups and there's levels to where your age at. If you late, you work twice as hard. You don't sit around and say, I gotta take my time when you wasted time. That's your mindset. That's what's got you messed up in the first place. You gotta adjust. You gotta adapt. Change is inevitable. Stop trying to change that. You gotta stop. You're ruining yourself and then you want to go look for help. No. Fix your own problems. Look in the mirror. You're the reason why you're where you're at. That person you looking at in the mirror, that's the only person that can change your situation from where you're at and where you want to be. Don't look for nobody else to help you. It's going to get worse before it gets greater. But the more you sit down and wait and complain and dwell and blame and blah, 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 I wish this was that, I wish this was that, I wish we lived back in the day. Back in the day, they died when they was 25, 30 because you got bit by a mosquito, your ass died from an infection. Nowadays, you can live till you're 70, 80. It's pros and cons of everything. Adapt to what's going on. It's resources. You used to have to pay to get a book. Now every book is damn near online for free. You're not reading books. You're on social media looking at what somebody else doing, ass and titties, somebody else cock, or whatever the hell that's going on. Man, come on, man. That's all BS. You want it?
I used to be lonely till I learned about living alone. I found other things to keep my mind on, and I'm getting to know myself a little bit better.
It's Saturday night.
Priceless and evident, it is the humbleness of your heart that will make you blessed. It is progress and foresight. You will shine bright if you stand there naturally.
You've got to live life with true intention. Intention. You've got to live life with true intention. Intention.
Sure. You got to live every day and always remember that each day you must live like a contender. Life and a program where you write on your agenda. Whether you're an offender, defender, the judgment is a blender. Telling the youth don't go astray. Different pattern night and day. Life and a granted, choose your way. Love is a padlock, life for the key. And I so love you for real. I'm never ready, a big deal. I'll sign, copy, and seal. So everything must reveal.
You've got to live life.
You got to live and you got to love your life
with true intention.
true intentions.
Intention. You've got to live life
You got to live and you got to love your life
with true intention.
true intentions.
Intention.
Good evening. Tonight we have Pride of West Africa.
Tornado, I see you coming around.
Rock and Rio. Are you there?
Don't let go, you know I'm holding
I am.
you down.
Alright, stand by.
People shouldn't change like the weatherman. People shouldn't change if they innocent. People act strange when it's getting hard to breathe. So let me be your oxygen. Please don't go, I will stay. When everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them go, hear them say. Trying to breathe but you're feeling strange. Oh, feel like you're living but you might be better out there. If you're going under, then I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. Domino, this world keeps knocking you down. Let them know no one can push you around. Getting out to breathe in the evidence. Feels like you never see the sun again. Domino, this world keeps knocking you down. Please don't go, I will stay. When everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them go, hear them say. Trying to breathe but you're feeling strange. Oh, feel like you're living but you might be better out there. If you're going under, then I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. Laughing with the demons in your head. They don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. No. Feeding off the words that they are said. They don't mean nothing. No. Please don't go. I will stay when everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them, hear them say.
Dirty Heads.
Please don't go. I will stay when everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them go, hear them say. Trying to breathe but you're feeling strange.
Alright, that's just a taste of what goes on around here. Sunday morning wake and bake. My name's Jimmy. I'm here with Rockin' Rio and the Epic Journeyman. Is there somewhere in the midst of the oxygen? I always wanted to start an oxygen bar at a high altitude location. I also wanted to set up a shave ice stand at the X Games, which is a winter activity, but I just figured, it's so out of context that it would probably just work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Selling ice to the Eskimos, that kind of shit. You just show up with this.
I know people who would be capable of that.
That's what I mean. You just show.
It's pretty scary, right?
Epic Journeyman. You shave.
I know what you're talking about, man.
You know the shave ice. Now, I think one of the biggest shave ice operations there ever was in the world was on Maui, wasn't there? Some special place where they used, fresh fruits and all this coconut.
Oh, it's an island thing. Yeah, it's all over, and yeah, it's not like a snow cone. People think it's like a snow cone. It's not a snow cone.
No,
it's like baked Alaska by comparison, right? That's what it is.
And
it's not gourmet thing,
It's not shaved ice. It's shave, singular. Shave ice. Did they still use the machete on the block of ice? Because the texture, when you got it just right, it's the texture of the ice and the mixing of the ingredients that makes it so good. You know what? I'll go dig up a video of some Hawaiian shave ice so people can see on the screen.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because those places don't exist here in Maui anymore, right? They're gone. It burned down. So, it's like one of the many things, one of the many reminders of what we miss now. It'll come back, someday. But right now, it's just a bunch of burnt ground.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody will get like a cart, and.
Dude, you missed out. I told you, right? The Mexican restaurant, they did that. They got the cart. It's badass, dude. It's really good.
Somebody was listening.
California. I can't believe it.
Listeners.
It's really good.
All right, listen. I found a joint in Kauai. So let's go to Kauai for a moment and check out some shave ice. Hold on a second. No, I mean shave ice. Think about it. Your main ingredient. What is it? It's fucking water.
Ice.
It's water.
Yeah, water. Right.
I'm just saying. All you got to do is you got to have a paper cup to put it in, right? The expensive part is the ingredients that you put over the top of it and the ice cream that you use. You know what I'm saying? Now, did the place that you used to go to, did they put ice cream in there? Was there like a dollop of ice cream down at the bottom?
Sometimes there's like cream in there, yeah. But mostly it's like fruit and stuff, yeah. It's good, man.
It's delicious, man. It goes over no matter where you are. Because no one has ever seen it before. Like if you just show up somewhere and you got a shave ice card on the back of your truck or whatever, you're making money, dude. And like I said, what do? You go down and you get some blocks of ice. You know what I mean? How hard is that? Come on.
You're making a killing here right now in the summertime. Like it's hot now. Like it's gotten hot now.
Dude, you won't make.
It normally happens, of course, in Hawaii at this time.
Listen, if you're doing shave ice, dude, you're making bank. And actually, now that I think about it, you might not even need a fucking health permit to do shave ice. I don't think you need a health permit, dude, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going to check into this. All right, so here's a Hawaiian dude. The Ultimate Hawaiian Shave Ice Tour. Best of Kauai. 6 shave ice. Let's check it out.
For the best shave ice on the island of Kauai. Shave ice is the Aloha State's most popular treat. As a local boy who grew up on Oahu, shave ice is my favorite thing to eat. If you don't believe me, just take a look. As my wife and I embark on this trip to Kauai, she is thinking about the beaches, ocean vistas, and waterfalls. And all I'm thinking about is who has the best shave ice on the island of Kauai? I was told that there's many great shave ice spots. Whew, let's go. Here we are in Waimea, right near the Waimea Grand Canyon, and we're checking out the other shave ice from JoJo's. JoJo's Shave Ice has 3 locations. We're here on the west side of Kauai. I saw someone yesterday with the Lihing Moi one, so I had to come back to a different location and try it out. Just a quick backstory. Yesterday we went to JoJo's Shave Ice on the North Shore. Totally dig the vibe of this area. We're gonna try out JoJo's Shave Ice. It's busy here, the heart of Hanalei. They are busy. Busy, busy, busy. Oof. And it was at this moment, while waiting, we saw this lady with a big, thick, blood red shave ice. I knew I had to come back and show you. We're gonna show you the Lihing Moi shave ice. And it looks so great. Let's go. Pretty cool. Real local style. It's good? Delicious? Okay. I take her word for it. Thank you, thank you. Oh, goodness line. Really colorful inside. Oh, look. Boom. Your dress matches the background. As if you should be a worker. That's what I noticed. Cool. This is a real down-to-earth, cool area. And I had the Lilo and Stitch one yesterday. This is in my lifetime, and I've never seen anything like this. That looks crazy. You gotta be kidding me. This looks unreal. This is crazy. I mean,
$7 for that. $7 for that.
Worth every penny.
I'm just saying,
right now.
I'm just saying, bro, Epic Journeyman, I say you find yourself an old travel trailer, like a small one, like a 10, 15 footer, where they used to, go camping on the back of it, and turn it into a shave ice spot and put it down there. Get some young people to work it for you. You know what I mean? Epic, you gotta diversify.
I think you're right, man. I mean, I could get into this, right? I mean, totally.
That's what I mean,
well,
dude.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like the whole waterfront where Lahaina used to be. I mean, the city's gone, right? So, what they have to do is that they're building. They're not building yet. They're taking the debris and they're moving that out now. That's actually happening now. So they have the trucks taking all the burnt stuff out and making it habitable again. And they're going to start rebuilding that whole front. So obviously people had insurance on the Front Street waterfront will get the first crack at that. But I wonder, like, what's going to be open for other people?
Dude, you should just come pulling in there with a shave ice spot.
Got to, man.
The other thing I thought was a really good business idea is you show up at a farmer's market and you don't have nothing there but a wok and, flame, and people can go buy fresh shit off these farmers markets and bring it over to you and put it on a plate, and you just cook that shit up for them, throw some spices on there and stuff.
Dude, I'm going to call it the Walk of Fame. The Walk of Flame.
That's
Walk of Flame.
That is badass, dude.
The Front Street Walk of Flame.
The Walk of Flame, dude. That is badass.
I'm telling you.
No, think about this. No, so think about it. You don't need shit.
All over it.
Listen, this is a way around the system, right? So you don't need a permit to have a fucking barbecue, do you? No. You don't have to have anything to show up with some thing. If somebody brings you over some fruits or whatever they bring you to throw on the wok, and you cook it and hand it back to them and make some money off of it, it's not on you. You don't need a kitchen. The thing is, a lot of times when you have these operations that are serving food, you got to have a commercial kitchen that you're based out of, so the health department can come check you out, make sure you're not serving whatever. But I'm serious, dude. I think on this ice thing, I don't think this is health department shit. Honestly, I think this. I mean, they want to see if you're cooking and it's got to be a certain temperature and all this shit. It's got to be so clean and this and that. Got to have so many sinks and all that. I don't think it's the same for this. I think this is a way around. And that wok, dude, the Walk of Flame. pollination. Start a walk of flame operation up in Canada. Go to the. I'll just say, just pull up to the farmers market, man. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, imagine being like right there, Front Street, and then you can have franchises. Like, so you have that's your main hub, and then places where people go spearfish and stuff. They come out of the water and put their fish straight on the grill. It'd be cool, right?
Dude.
Like, or
and the thing is not a lot of people don't know how to butcher fish either. They don't know how to cut them up and clean them. So like if you were sitting there, dude, if you were sitting there with a flame and a wok and all this shit, and they just brought you the fish,
you're good to go, right?
Yeah, you just
and a scale,
butcher
charge it by the pound, right?
Exactly, butcher the fish for them. Throw some butter on there, dude. You know. I don't know, dude. I swear to God, if there's waves and you showed up with a taco truck, you'd probably make $1,000 a day.
That girl who started that authentic Mexican roach coach, we'll call it a roach coach. Mm-hmm. That's just a nickname, right?
Yeah,
it's
a
terrible nickname, I guess. But I mean, she's doing great. She opened up a second franchise here in the Lahaina.
Fuck yeah,
the highway coming in. Yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
Costco and Kahului. Yeah, she's doing great, man. Because it's the only authentic restaurant. Mexican food, rather. It's not a restaurant. There is in the entire island, and all of Hawaii, really. I mean, I've been all over everywhere in Hawaii. There's no place as good as this. It's great.
That's what I mean.
So,
yeah. I mean,
she listens. Somebody listened, right? It's like, why are there great Mexican places?
That's crazy,
here?
dude.
Great ingredients here.
I know.
Best on the planet, you know.
I know. I heard Ivy West. She does a show on Revolution Radio. She lives over there. And she was saying there was major rain, major water, cars floating away. All kinds of shit going on. So the storms are really pretty intense over there, eh?
Yeah. So last week it was pretty bad. Like when I was in the Big Island, I couldn't do the show last week because it was something else, man. It was pretty bad. Over here in Lahaina West Side, it's not so bad. It's just cloudy today. Mm-hmm. A little bit of rain. It's not bad.
Well, she was saying you guys were waiting for the trade winds to start coming in, but these other winds that cause this rain came from I guess she was saying from the south. They got sucked up through something. And
well, so the Big Island's going to hit hard, right? So it's the way this one is. The storm system from last week is coming through. Mm-hmm. It's coming from it's coming from you guys' way, and coming from the south up towards the northwest and going across all the islands. So Big Island's getting it worst, and then it goes across, it goes everywhere else. We're getting the brunt of it. I mean, not the brunt of it. The Big Island got the brunt of it. We're getting like the after effects here, but it's not too bad. It's just not nice to go outside. There's big waves. If you're a surfer, it's good for you. It's not bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Yesterday and earlier in the week was pretty good. Yep.
I'm still showing this dude. So this is Hawaiian. Look see, these are the ingredients. Hang on. Let's go back to this dude because I want to stop this dude. Hang on. He's still going for some reason, but I hit the play button's not he's still playing. There he goes. He stopped. All right. So this is the thing about these shave ice businesses, and I'm telling you, this is the main thing is your ingredients. So like you got to put shit over the top of this ice, and that's the money. That's what the money costs because I don't know how you're going to do it. Some people, they're going to go get fresh fruit. They're going to smash it all up. They're going to make their own shit and pour it over the top of it. That's one way of doing it. But, I mean, the price of fruit right now, it's probably expensive, eh? So to get these extracts and to get these special sauces, Rio, from the berries and all that, it's anyways, here, let's take a listen to what's in here. Just so you guys can get a gist of it.
Sour, and if you love lihing by itself, then this is where it's at. Wow. Woo. If you don't know what lihing is, it's a dry, salty Chinese plum that's put into powder form that's very popular with the Hawaiian streets here. So they just decided, hey, shave ice is popular with the Hawaiians, why not make it into a shave ice with powder? Instead, I don't know where the powder is, but they put it into this creamy liquid form. By far, this is the most different shave ice I've ever had. When I think about eating shave ice, I think about it being sweet, but this is very sour, and all you taste is the lihing. It didn't hold back on the lihing. It's very defined. It's not for everyone, but if you like lihing, you like trying things that are different, then this is worth trying. It's definitely IG worthy, I tell you that much.
Look at this thing.
Jordan's sore nose let out a fiery sneeze, so Dad grabbed a Puffs Plus.
What the fuck, man? And I can't switch it either. That's some funny shit. Hang on. This is funny. This dude's got commercials on his shit, but hang on. All right, so this one, this is more this is more what I was thinking when I was talking about the shave ice. All right, here it comes. Ready? All right, here it comes. Here it comes. Hold on.
Tropical Breeze is supposed to be the most popular one here, and I'm gonna see why. Oh, that is good. Yeah. Look how nice the texture of the ice is. It's not overly done with the sugar or the condensed milk. It looks like it blends all in together. Wow, I'm digging this Tropical Breeze. Lilo and Stitch, Tropical Breeze. Let's just enjoy this together. Let's go. My gosh. Let's enjoy this together. I like the fact that they stay old school with their shave ice too. There's not a lot of extra Azuki beans or creativity here. It's just a really good down to earth classic shave ice. This is a heavenly shave ice basic. Sorry guys, the sun is too bright.
All right, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. That's what my grandma used to say. All right, listen. So yeah, shave ice. Think about it. Might be a good business idea. I don't care where you show up. If the
Yeah, but with 89 degrees here, all of a sudden summertime, and you're looking for something to chow down on, I'm telling you, man,
that's what I'm saying,
good option.
bro. That's exactly what I'm saying.
It really is. There's lines,
and
like
even
the place I used to live in, Kihei, and it's still there. Obviously, that place didn't burn down.
And don't you
there's
think
lines out in the street for this? Man.
If you showed
like
up,
it's a huge operation
at the X Games, even though it was snowing, it's freezing. You showed up with or without shave ice operation, I guarantee you'd be selling it. People would be buying it, man. You'd probably make so much money.
What you do is you play up
Just
the one
because-
theme of it. So you have the tropical signage and everything. You have the tropical feel out there in the snow and Aspen or wherever they're doing the games. I'm telling you, man, it'd go over. It'd be huge. It'd be great.
I know. You would make so much money, too, because no one would think of selling something cold at the X Games. Everybody's trying to get them some hot coffee, hot this, hot that, pancakes, whatever the fuck. No one's thinking ice, shave ice. You show up shave ice, bro, you're leaving with a fucking wad like that.
That's gonna be my rap name from now on, Shave Ice Bro.
Shave Ice.
Man, you heard that new album about Shave Ice Bro? Just dropped this great, this great thing, man. It's awesome. Shave Ice Bro, man. Go listen to him.
Did you see this? There's a TikTok rapper that shot himself in the head on TikTok.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. It's a little bit.
I do not have TikTok.
It's a little bit abstract away from the shave ice. All of a sudden.
Here's the thing that's weird is I'm that much of a Cold War guy still, like in the sense that I know that's China, right? I can't partake in something like that, man. I don't have anything Chinese in my house. Actually.
I got nothing. I've never been.
It's hard to do.
The only time I've ever watched a TikTok video on purpose was when I accidentally found the chick with the $5,000 couch, and then we talked about it on the show. Like I played it on here. Like she needed a $5,000 couch, and she was crying on here because she couldn't get one. And I thought that was an interesting.
Actually, the only Chinese things I have are my iPad, iPhone, because they're manufactured in China, right? And my Pimax headset, but like my bicycle, not made in China. All North American parts. Anything it can do, People don't understand like how big this is a deal. How big of a deal rather this is. TikTok is a operation.
Oh,
we're talking about this 5th generation warfare, right? From the Chinese side. It really is. It's not. This isn't a joke, man. It really is.
No.
And the fact that people are so captivated by it, and knowing what I know and what people should know about it, I can't believe this is even allowed to happen.
Well, it's funny
right?
it's funny that you should say that, because I just put up on the screen over at YouTube, welcome to the Allied Command Transformation, NATO's Strategic Warfare Development Command, Norfolk, Virginia. Warfare has changed dramatically with advanced technologies and the whole of society involvement, increased global interconnectivity. More people are unable to differentiate between legitimate and manipulated information, improving the alliance-wide understanding of cognitive warfare is a priority for NATO and member nations and partners. What does cognitive warfare really mean? Well, cognitive deriving from cognition is the mental action or process of understanding encompassing all aspects of intellectual function, including the subconscious emotional aspects that drive the majority of human decision making. Warfare, as an experience of war, originally referred to the common activities and characteristics of armed conflict between states, governments, and entities. In the modern landscape, there is less clarity on stakeholders, and varying degrees of organizational, cultural, and social environment are becoming more commonplace, as well as proxy extension and national interest. So, what we were talking about last night, now you were saying, Epic Journeyman, that you had found some interesting new search engine optimizations that are going to be taking place. So what?
Google,
so what about
Google's
that?
Google Gemini is an artificial intelligence program, and it's meant to compete. So while ChatGPT is a chatbot and it's been developed this whole time using Reddit as a basis, so Sam Altman and all those guys and Elon Musk used Reddit as a platform to develop ChatGPT by following all the conversations of all the people using Reddit. That was his playground. That was a sandbox that it used to make it develop a way of communicating that sounded more human-like, right? By following all these conversations on Reddit, right? Mm-hmm. Reddit is the foundation of ChatGPT, actually. OpenAI. OpenAI is Sam Altman and Elon Musk, right? Well, that whole time, people in Microsoft and Google weren't standing idle. They were doing it too, right? All the other people all around the world. There's an AI race. It's a gold rush, actually. It really is. I mean, the first person who gets this in mix of general artificial intelligence is the last person, because there's only going to be one. Right? Once it's there, it'll absorb everything else. Right? That's the way it's going to work.
Well, it's interesting. I was at the grocery store today picking some items up, and I'm standing at the thing right before the checkout where they got magazines, and I see this new magazine on the rack called Artificial Intelligence. I almost bought it. I'll probably buy it at some point this week and bring it to the table next week. But it had a picture of a human face, sort of porcelain white face, being pulled off a robot body.
Definitely should, man. It's like historic. I think it is. You should do that as a memento of what human beings used to be like, honestly.
Yeah, so please continue. Yeah.
So what Google did was create this thing called their AI program was called Gemini, and it had kind of a bad launch about 2 months ago. They tried to launch it, and it turned out that some of the videos they made were fabricated. They like gave the questions ahead of time, produced it to make it look more powerful than it really is, and they called on it and they retracted it like right away. But they didn't give up on it. It's still there. It's all these Google projects that are working on this have been in conjunction to make this thing happen. And so now it's launching again. Everything's based on Gemini, which I think is a nod to the Wired article from 1999 or 96 about Mirror World, right? Mirror World, where it's this artificial mixed reality overlay on everything. And I think that's what Gemini is, the twin, right? Gemini represents the twin, and that's why it's named Gemini. So what Gemini is it overlays everything, right? It's the twin of our reality. It's an artificial overlay on top of reality. And what it does is it's conversational on how searches are going to be directed and answered in the future. And so instead of directing you to links, like when you go to Google now, and it's already happening, when you go to Google now, it doesn't just give you a link to something you're looking at. It also explains the answer it thinks you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you're saying, well, what's it like in the Himalayas in April, right? Mm-hmm. It'll tell you, well, you're going to be above 20,000 feet. You should wear this and do this, and it's at this location, et cetera, and elaborates on what it thinks from your profile you want to hear. Like, it's a feedback loop. It really is, man. It's a feedback loop trying to tell you what you want to hear.
Well, the thing is we've talked about this in the past, and there was a moment where I was with Kev Baker, and I told him, hey man, your search is for you. The internet you see is your internet. It's not the same internet that I see. It's not the same.
It's overt now.
No,
yeah, that's what this is. It's overt about it.
Well, the thing
Gemini
is
overtly doing that.
Right, but let's just put it this way. Let me expound on this a little bit, because it's important. Because once you look at something, okay, it thinks that's what you're interested in. And so it will provide you with that every time you show up. So if it's on YouTube and you watch a video about changing a tire, then the next few times you go to videos, there'll be a bunch of tire changing videos on there because it thinks that's what you want to see. And it's the same thing. If you're out there looking for negative shit on there, you're looking for this or that, or you're trying to, seek out some information, you're looking for negative shit, like you're always constantly looking for negative shit, it's going to keep providing you with negative shit. And the feedback loop that you're getting, it's like being alone and never talking to anybody. If you never talk to anybody, you never get an outside perspective on what's going on. And you, in your best moments, don't always make the best decisions. Sometimes you need outside influence. But this negative feedback loop keeps you stunned and going over and over because there's nothing outside of that. It doesn't have to show you the rest of the world. It's only showing you the part of the world that it thinks you want to see. Go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, it's basically reinforcing your confirmation bias.
Right.
Because what's happening is you're already predisposed to think a certain way, and rather than offend you by telling you the opposite is true somewhere else and telling you where to look, which I'm sure they're going to try to do in the future. They're going to moderate it that way. But right now, what it does is it's just trying to get the clicks, right? So what it is, it gives you what it thinks, knowing you want to hear, and what answer you want to hear, and it'll assist you. It's like an AI assistant. It'll help you. Like, okay, I'm going to go to Mount Everest in April. What do I need? Well, you can't get there. There's a helicopter rescue. Take a satellite phone, pack this amount of equipment, talk to this Sherpa that's going to take you up there. All that kind of stuff. It'll give you all that information, like without being prompted. That's the idea. Like it's going to anticipate what you want to ask the further questions to be on the theme you're working on, and it's because it knows you, right? And that's the key. It knows you. That's what the key is, right? How does it know you? It knows you from all the things you've done in the past. Every click you've ever made on Google is saved. Every single one, right? It knows you, right? That's the people they understand this, right? And so it's custom tailored, made for you. And so it anticipates, because it knows you well, or it knows you probably better than you know yourself. And that's overused the axiom or metaphor or whatever, but it's true. It does. And so now it's taking that information and applying it. And that's always what all these programs are geared towards. There's a research phase and there's an application phase. The research phase is gathering information and experimenting, and we Coco the signing chimp, or gorilla rather, and that's part of the artificial intelligence lab at SRI was based on that, right? Like how to do outside the box thinking to apply the human psyche, right? By a gorilla doing sign language. But how does that apply to this? Well, it applies because all those things gear towards knowing the humanity side of it, and how humans actually interact with the machine-human interface, and make that as seamless as possible. And that's what it's trying to achieve with Gemini. And Gemini is going to be the search engine, it already is, of the future, where it'll anticipate what it thinks you want, probably before we even make the search inquiry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It already knows you're going to look for it, right? It already knows. And then the question becomes, is it prompting you to look that way, in that direction in the first place? And that is absolutely possible.
Yeah, well, that's the whole operation behind the operation. It's like the guy behind the guy, because there's nudging.
Yeah, I know it's a long way to go, but I'm telling you, like that is, like, once you know all this, that's where it's going.
All right, well, listen, let's go back to the United Nations here. Together, these two words, cognitive warfare, they paint a definition. The activities conducted in synchronization with the instruments of power to affect attitudes and behaviors by influencing, protecting, and or disrupting individual or group cognitions to gain an advantage. These activities vary greatly and may encompass supporting or conflicting cultural, personal components, social psychology, game theory, and ethics, all contributing factors. However, activities of modern warfare do not necessarily carry kinetic component or directly tangible outcomes, such as territorial or resource acquisition, as with other hybrid threats. Our adversaries conduct cognitive warfare throughout the continuum of conflict and aim to stay in the gray zone below the threshold of armed conflict. So the modern warfare, the battleground is the mind, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the microcosm. It's Saturday night. Rock Rio, are you still there?
From a town in the east
Nice. All right. When we come back, I want to get your take on some of this here. FreeWorld.fm. It's in the microcosm Saturday night, the chilluminatti. Rock and Rio, Epic Journeyman, and myself, and of course you, 718-618-9905. If you want to give us a call, 718-618-9905. Here's Mako Road.
Drink from the water now. Yeah. Just listen and drink from the water now. Yeah. Yeah. On the water, darkness looms. I feel it on my skin, feel it try to pull me in now. Rain wash away these feelings. We wait for the day that love wins. Brother, just listen and drink from the water now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mako Road, drink from the water now. There they go. Mako Road. So Rock and Rio, what are you thinking about this search engine now? It knows what you're thinking. I mean, so you start thinking about watching some movie when you get home, and then you show up and the lights dim and the movie shows up on your screen, ready to watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the direction everything's going, right? I mean, I find even now, like I type the first two letters of what I'm thinking into the search bar, and the answer is the first result. So, it's technology is really getting to be a little scary, I think. As far as it knows you so well now that you don't really even. I mean, there's going to be a point where you're just going to have to look at the screen and it's going to know. Or you look into your camera and it's going to know what you're thinking.
They are reading your brain already. I'll dig the article up, but I mean, there was just this thing last week where they were saying that the military had some brain scanning capabilities.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like you're saying, at some point, that piece of whatever it is, that piece of technology just will be in everything. In other words, you buy a pair of headphones, that shit's in there. You get a laptop.
We already see it with the 5 gigahertz routers in your house, right? They can 3D map your entire living quarters and what position you're in, and they know you sit on the couch and put on a movie at 9:00 on Thursday nights for or whatever you do. They know you eat your dinner at 6:00 because they see you in the kitchen. So it's only really a matter of time before, they just do. They know everything you do and can predict it within. Because I mean, we're pretty much creatures of habit. We do the same things, mostly all the time. I mean, you might go to a different restaurant this week than you went to last week, but they know. They know where you go and what you do and what time you go to work, what time you go to bed, and what time you eat. And what's in your refrigerator?
Yeah, well, when I get in my car in the morning, my phone tells me how long it's going to take me to get to where I'm going. It knows where I'm going to work because I'm up. So it says it's going to take me X amount of time to get
15
to work.
minutes to get to work or whatever. Yeah, you know what's worse about that? If you don't turn that function off, like the tracking that iPhone does, Apple products do, and it knows you go to the gym on Wednesdays, it'll tell you 7 minutes to the gym. It'll tell you. It knows before you even go there.
Right.
That's how accurate.
What
it is,
phones
right?
do you guys have?
iPhone.
Yeah, but
I have iPhone.
What
I
version?
have a 15. I didn't need to get it. I had paid for my 12 already, and I wasn't going to upgrade it. But I got it for the spatial video to use on Quest 3.
What
VR
about
headset.
you, Jimmy? Which
I
one
think
you
I
got?
have a 14.
Oh, okay. See, I do not have that feature because I am still rocking the 6S.
Well, the thing is, you may
Dude,
have a 6.
I'd still have it. I'd still have it myself. I would. Yeah, I
you
broke
still
it.
have a
I still have
6S,
it.
but the thing is that shit was there when you had your 6S, only you didn't have access to it. You didn't see it, but it's always been there. And that's what I'm saying about this shit, is it's going to, these technologies, these mind-reading technologies can just show up at the point that they're made at such a ridiculously low price, and it just becomes like a Bluetooth hole in your, whatever. I mean, at some point they change from USB to USB-C. You know what I mean? So sometime they'll just throw this shit in. It'll just be in your computer, just like right now. I got this little green light on the top of my Mac. Okay, it's telling me my camera's on. Well, I mean, that little green light and that camera being on, that same camera could be a brain scanner in the future.
But it could be off and not show you. It would still be on in reality.
That's right. Now.
Like it could be on. It just turns the light off when it wants to not know about it.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying. And that's the other thing about what makes this shit so trippy is that in the background, these machines are talking to each other, and these devices in your house are talking to each other, and they're setting up little networks and shit behind your back, and they're talking to each other, and they're giving out your information. You don't realize it because at some point you're gonna want to, somebody wants to use Siri and they turn on the Hey Siri. And they use it, and then they forget to turn. See, I just said, "Hey Siri."
She came right up, right?
Hey Siri.
But, it's funny because I don't use Bluetooth at all for anything. It's like off on my phone, and I don't really have any Bluetooth keyboards or mice or anything like that.
Well, listen, my
And
iPhone,
one of the first things I did, because I have a Samsung TV that was playing Nasty and Dirty, is I opened up the back of it and I pulled the Wi-Fi unit out of it. So it's not connected to any network because I don't plug it in, and it doesn't have, it complains once in a while that, my Wi-Fi is not functioning properly because the board's not there. I do have Wi-Fi in the house that I do occasionally turn on to update my phone or whatever, but 99% of the time it's off.
these new devices, the new devices are obsessed with a Bluetooth signal. When I keep
because
turning my
Bluetooth
shit.
can supply so much more data than Wi-Fi.
I
believe
am
it or not.
sitting there turning that shit off, and when I turn it off, it says Bluetooth will be turned off for 1 day, and it turns itself back on. And every time that Bluetooth is on, my battery gets sucked dry.
See, what you have to do is you have to go into the settings app and turn it off, and then it'll stay off. If you just turn it off, like from the notification center, it comes back. Same thing with Wi-Fi. You actually have to go into the settings and turn it off. It'll stay off that way.
And is it really off though? That's the whole thing.
No,
like, I mean, the
it's
fact
never
that
really off.
Yeah,
Well, you never
it's able
you
to
never
be
really
remotely
know.
accessed.
But I'll tell
Right.
you what, when you keep it off, like with even as much as I do use my phone to make calls at work and whatever, I only have to charge my phone like every other day. And you got to realize it's an 8-year-old phone. So
Well,
Yeah, I still have my iPhone 4 if it would update. Eventually what happens, the way they make you have to update. If you didn't want to update in the first place, which I would never updated an iPhone 4. Honestly, I've never done it. And
Yeah,
the only
well,
reason I did was
I
because
still
there's
have a
too much RAM.
3GS that works just fine too, for
Yeah.
the most part. But a lot of the apps now just, like you go to connect to a certain app and it's just not
Yeah,
compatible.
they update the app and it's more megabytes or whatever in your storage, and then the storage won't be there anymore because programmers are
Well,
accustomed to having
a lot
large
of the apps
capacity.
say, requires iPhone, iOS
or
10
whatever,
or later,
whatever
or
iOS,
12 or
yeah,
later,
10, 12 or later, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
It
I mean,
just locks you out.
I'm still running, I think it's 15.8 now, whatever, or 15.8.1 or whatever the latest version is that's compatible with that. And that'll be good probably for another year or two until, the apps that I use, are no longer compatible. That's actually, even when I had my 3, it was things like certain things I used for work and whatever, just like you couldn't update to the newest version because it required, iOS 8 or 9 or whatever it was or later. And it was just like, all right, I'm stuck on iOS 5. So
what I did with my iPhone 4, and I encourage everybody to do this with their current iPhones. Obviously we are where we are now. You can't roll it back. But what I did with my iPhone 4, I thought at the time specifically, like, okay, networks go down or the AI takes over. This is way back when, right? Who knows? And you want to get off the network. What you want is access to the storehouse of knowledge that you can access independent of that. So I downloaded all those Audubon books, field guides. I downloaded like my playlists from iTunes. We used to have real iTunes. You could download your CDs and everything. They're all downloaded on there. And so if you're on a desert island and you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have Bluetooth, you don't have a telephone connection, you can still play it. All you have to do is charge your iPhone and it's there, right? So I encourage everyone to think of it that way, like a cache of knowledge you can save independent of being networked. And don't ever connect to the internet after that. The only reason you ever connect to the internet is to download whatever products you want and then save it that way as a library that you can own, right? Independent of being networked or on the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
The cloud is the enemy. The cloud is, I mean this, the cloud is the enemy. Because it is all great when you have your photos and stuff on there now, but that dependence on the cloud, the fact the cloud can be manipulated, and that data is out there that anyone has access to who wants to manipulate it, to actually be like the 1984 Ministry of Information and go ahead and retroactively edit, real events, right? I mean, that's real.
I actually don't use iCloud or any of that, like, or Google Cloud or any of those cloud services. I don't use.
You have to
I
go
don't
in
even
there.
use the Microsoft one. I don't use any of them.
You have to go in there when you get if you just all of a sudden just get an iPhone, you never had one before. If you just go get one, it'll automatically put shit in the cloud, and you don't know it. You're thinking you're saving shit, and you're thinking you're saving it, but it's going to the cloud. And then at some point, without after a period of time, it'll come and say to you, "You've reached your limit at iCloud. You must pay 99 cents for more storage."
Yep, it sure does. I do it with my work phone. I have to. Just my pictures.
See, when I first got this phone, I turned all of that off, and I never used it. Just never got into it. Never.
I know,
used
but
it.
see, regular people ain't the tech night owl like Rock and Rio and Epic Journeyman, so they get screwed like me. See, I got screwed, and so you know what they would do to me? I refused. It's like I called them up. I called Apple. I was pissed. I was like, hey, I have so much space on this hard drive, and I was planning on saving these stuff that I saved. I save it here, but why is it on the cloud? Blah 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 blah. Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't gonna pay, right? So you know what would happen then? Then it
all disappeared, right?
No, it gets full, and then they stop giving you your email.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your email goes in there, but now all of a sudden, because your shit's full, you won't get email. So they hold you hostage now. And so there was this point where I was expecting an email from this job I applied to, and I wasn't getting them because I was in one of these points where I had reached my maximum and I didn't want to pay. And so I literally fought it for I swear to God, I'm not lying, for at least a year. I wouldn't pay. And my email would get and then I'd have to go in and delete a bunch of shit, delete a bunch of email. You know what I mean? But eventually, when I was waiting for that one email, I had to pay because I couldn't take a chance that I wasn't going to get it. So I mean,
well, see, I guess I'm fortunate in that respect because I had an original .Mac account before it was cloud, so I have lifelong access to Apple email without having to use the cloud service.
Yeah, well, the same with my iPhone 4. Like all the stuff that's on there, those playlists, those songs I downloaded. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands. I mean, it's thousands, right, of songs and music works and books. Tons of books, like a whole library of books.
Dude, I had
I just turn it on.
And I back up locally to my own computer. I have two different machines. I back up to both of them. That way, if one gets damaged, I got two copies.
I had a 300 disc changer that was full. And I went and I loaded every CD onto my Apple computer. Okay? It's not in my iTunes. It just disappeared. It's on the computer I originally loaded them on, but it never went up into iTunes.
Yeah, see, I never did any of that either. I don't.
But I mean, do you know how long it took me to put?
Do
you know how long it took me to fucking upload all that shit to put that shit in? I mean,
days.
I know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I owned all that music. I bought those CDs, and the only CDs that are in my iTunes are the ones that I bought from iTunes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the ones that are on my iPhone 4 are my original. They're my CDs. I downloaded what you're describing exactly, and they're still there. They're still there. Like if it's not connected to the internet and I have a phone account, I turn it on because it's backed up in the actual physical memory of that iPhone 4. They're all still there, right? But if I try to do it now. And this is something we've been threatening to talk about in the show for a long time. Never really have this retroactive editing of things, like songs in particular. For example, Alan Parsons Project has a song called "The Raven," and it's from Tales of Mystery and Imagination. That's the album, Alan Parsons Project first album, actually. The original version has no guitar solo in it. The Raven has no guitar solo. That version is on that iPhone 4. But if I go download that song today, it has a guitar solo. It's not on the original album. If you don't have the album, you would think that it always had the guitar solo on there. So it's retroactively editing history in a sense.
You know what?
It's gaslighting us, right? Because that version no longer exists.
It's interesting you should say that. It's interesting you should say that. Because I play music every day, pretty much, on here for an hour. and it doesn't have anything to do with the show. I'm just on here playing music during the day, but I've noticed that same thing, and here's what I thought it was. No, I didn't think there was anything sinister. What I thought it was that I was just hearing it better. Like, that was always there. Like, because I hear because these headphones and just the way things are, I hear everything. And I hear shit on Van Halen albums. I used to sit there and I knew they were obviously produced, but there is so much backing tracks and shit going on in Van Halen. It's not like Eddie just sat there and ripped a lead or whatever. It wasn't like that. But the thing is I never noticed it before, but now, for some reason, music is coming through much clearer. Maybe it's because of its digital nature. I don't know. But maybe it's just that it was always there, but we couldn't hear it because our ability to hear it wasn't there as much as it is now with the kind of equipment that we have available to us, Epic. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that lead was always there, but you just couldn't hear it.
Well, no. What it is, I've noticed that too in a lot of music, even particularly Van Halen, is that because a lot of the songs now, they play the remastered versions where the tracks are remixed. But even when you learn to play Van Halen, to learn it correctly, you have to realize that he does layered parts on the records. So you don't necessarily hear all the intricacies, but if you just isolate the guitar track, like the rhythm guitar track, there's notes and pickings in there that you don't, like, you wouldn't normally pull out if you were just listening to the full song, the full album version of the song. And that's why so many people have a hard time playing it, is because they don't realize, they hear the chords and they hear the overall.
They don't know how to play
it. Some of that,
really
some of that texture gets buried underneath the drums and the bass and the solo and whatever else, and you don't really know it's there. That's why it never sounds right. And that that's true for a lot of records.
But then there's the guy that does figure out how to play it in one piece like it is, and then there's the new guitar player guy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, one guy knows. One dude figured it out, and then there he is.
Well, the best way to figure it out is to actually just watch. there's hours and hours of Eddie playing it live. Just watch what he does and figure out what the correct way to play it is.
Yeah.
But even he does play it different live than he played him on the album sometimes, because he's doing the double parts or doing it different so it still sounds full and is not the same as what's on exactly the same as what's on the
studio version. Right. Yeah. Well, the thing about this Alan Parsons thing, I don't want to walk away from this without really emphasizing the point, is that's a different version. It's not just as a different version. It's that your version, so let me put some perspective. I never put my iTunes account in my iPhone 4 account back online after the other iPhones came out. The phone number changed, whatever. So it's still there. It's just saved in the memory. I have the cassette tape of that album. It doesn't have the lead, right? But here's what makes this nefarious: is on my iPhones after there was this time still when it didn't have that lead in that song, The Raven. It still didn't have it because it's still the actual album, right? The actual iTunes download service changed it without my authority or my agreeing
consent, right? Yeah.
Consent, right? It changed it to this other version. But when it downloaded iPhone version, i12, whatever, right? It changed the whole thing, and it changed that song too. That is gaslighting at the highest level. It really is. That is a Ministry of Information kind of thing. It's changing our history. It's changing things we know, and we know are there, and not telling us about it. Like it's always been that way. No, it hasn't.
That's why it's imperative to have hard copies, right? If you have the book in your library,
I have the vinyl of that, but
right,
still,
there's no way it can be changed. Like you have the vinyl of that, or the cassette tape, or the CD, or whatever version. There's no way they can change that on you. But everything being digital can be manipulated to, at will. The song could never that song never existed on that record.
No, you just remember.
You're looking at the 30-year-old vinyl going, it's right here. It's track number 2.
Mm-hmm. You just got it all wrong. It's track number 3, and it didn't have that solo in it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that they can go ahead and manipulate things on that level of scale, and just not tell you about it. Like, oh, it's always been that way. Oh no, try to pass it off like, no, you just remember wrong.
Yeah,
we
and they
call them on it. You just remembered wrong.
You
didn't remember wrong.
They changed the cars in this TV show and all that.
Oh
yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't re-edited the Dukes of Hazzard to take the Confederate flag off the roof.
I think they have actually.
Have
They
they?
will.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Hey, I found this documentary today. I think I'm going to order it from Amazon. It's about Y&T.
There are 3 simple changes.
Shut up. It's about Y&T, eh? It's called, something happened here. Anyways, it's called, hold on with the Show. All right, check this out.
I don't even know how this started, what you're about to witness.
We kind of came out of the same little shoot together.
How we were supposed to play, what we were supposed to play. We just winged it.
It was raw.
It's totally raw.
And Blotzer goes, holy shit.
And holy shit.
He was kind of,
Yeah, they were badass.
Yesterday and today ちゃんとデイム・エニケッティのバンドじゃないっていうことでびっくりして
You can't chant yesterday and today. It's got too many man syllables.
Y&T, Y&T. And okay, well, why don't we call ourselves Y&T?
They were kings of their own scene the way Twisted Sister was kings of our scene in the New York area.
Give me a break, you wanking piece of crap. I hate that guy.
Power of that song, Mean Streak. You know, I mean, it just crushes you.
I wish Leonard could have stayed in the band forever.
He learned to play rock by playing with us.
I think that's the beginning of my hearing loss, actually.
You know, I was kind of in the back of my mind hoping that maybe I would be in the band someday.
He had put a hole through the bass drum.
I put my foot right through the bass drum head.
Who ever puts a hole through the bass drum head?
Dave all of a sudden just started bringing it.
After about 5 songs in, I was feeling pretty good about it.
I don't think people realize that how long someone like Y&T and myself have been around working. 75, 74.
It's the band that just won't quit.
Lifers, the ones who last, those are the ones that are smitten by the music, that found that bliss early in life and found no other acceptable alternative for what to do with their lives but to follow that bliss. And that's Y&T.
Yesterday and Today set the standard and broke new ground for the hard rock bands that followed. This is the story of one of America's most influential and enduring rock bands.
Dave Meniketti is the only original member in that band. They're all dead. I don't know if Leonard's still alive. He was still alive a few years ago, but he was all fucked up. I mean, I'm not laughing at him, but I'm just saying he was all fucked up.
I feel like I'm watching Spinal Tap, right? Like, I mean, this is what this kind of is, right? Like, I remember when ABBA did the same thing when they promoted the band in a way like no other song sounds like an ABBA song, the ABBA movie from the 1978 tour or whatever, right? And I'll admit I like some of the ABBA songs, man. They're good, right? But hey, the thing is, the promotion is what made them popular. The promotion is what made them famous. It wasn't just the music, you know what I mean? And I think that this is that Spinal Tap aspect of like the comic genius of Spinal Tap is being portrayed here because it's true, right? That is exactly how they promoted these bands.
Well,
right?
I watched this.
I can tell you from personal experience and life on the road that every moment in Spinal Tap is 100% legit.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Every single moment happened to somebody.
Yeah, there's a moment in this video where it's showing them playing, and you can see Joey. Their rhythm guitar player was Joey Alves, and then their bass player was Phil, and then they had Leonard on drums, and then Dave Menichetti. But I watched a 13-minute interview with Dave Menichetti earlier where he broke down all the shit that happened. You know, the different aspects of, you know, when they were on the label, they were on A&M, I think, and it was right at this moment when they moved to Geffen, and they thought they were going to get promoted and all this, and right when they moved to Geffen was when Geffen released Guns N' Roses and something else. And so this whole thing happened where they got dustbined or whatever. And then
That's some inside baseball, man, talking about Geffen. I actually remember the logo and even the animated logo of that. Do you remember that when they first started promoting it? Because it's like MTV days, right? When Geffen started doing like a 20th Century Fox kind of logo of the interlocking things to make the G. I mean, that is.
So
people today probably have no idea that Geffen's even a thing.
So when I was playing music, we played 2 shows with Y&T. And one of the videos that they were showing in there was like at the same touring period, you know, because around the Bay Area, Y&T was a band that would play, you know, at any given Friday night. Y&T was in 50 miles, or you could go somewhere within 50 miles and see them, you know, and wherever you went, it was, you know, it was a big scene or whatever. But they, you know, there was a point where they were just like, they were really doing good, you know, you thought they were gonna, but it didn't happen. I mean, it happened kind of, but not really. I mean, not in consideration of like a lot of the other things that happened in the Bay Area during that time.
Well, Sunset Strip too, right? There's a bunch of bands that were really popular at the time and never got elevated that were huge bands like that. It played the circuit in Sunset Strip, right? At those clubs. And it's just weird to me, like how did those bands make it, but they audition a band like Rat and Rat makes it, right? Like that's like, I mean, that's not a real band. Those people didn't be generically on the street, the boardwalk, walking around in Venice Beach. They were, you know, auditioned, right? And created like the Monkees, you know?
Well, I mean, when the thing is when MTV really took off is when everything changed for a lot of people. So, and then, you know, obviously Rio's favorite period of time is the grunge period. He loves grunge.
Yeah. I'd love to flush the grunge right down the toilet.
But I mean, that was also another killer or whatever, because there was this whole thing with the hair, you know, those fucking hair bands and whatever. Anybody who played hard rock was a hair band, you know, because everybody had long hair, and I guess
hair and spandex, dude. I'm telling you right now.
Well,
David Lee Roth used to shop in the women's section of the stores. He was spandex pants.
Let me tell you something, brother. He still does.
Slight to him. Yeah, well, no. I mean, he really did. Like,
no, I
couldn't find what he wanted in the men's section.
No,
right?
a lot of guys did at that point.
I think David Lee Roth is, you know, smoking a little rope now. You know, he might be a rope smoker. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
What I do know is that I feel sorry for him sometimes, because he's such a pompous guy sometimes, and he's been humbled so terribly on TV many times, like where Robin Williams came on before him on Tonight Show, and David Letterman, like right before him, and like killed it, and then he comes on after. He's trying to like live up to that, you know.
You know what? You know what?
Then,
he's the opposite of the Fonz. So like,
yeah,
when the Fonz was on Happy Days, and then you heard him talk in real life, you're like, damn, you know, he seemed a little, you know, odd. You know what I mean? You were expecting him to be, you know, the Fonz, but he wasn't. And David Lee Roth, the same thing. You see him like hanging off rocks, you know, off that Skyscraper LP. You know, he's jumping around, he's doing this. And then you hear him in real life, and then all of a sudden you're like, same thing with Fonzie.
Well, yeah, I mean,
this is a costume.
I mean, to his credit, like he studied martial arts, and he did ballet and stuff, right, to get his stretches and all that stuff, and so he's limber, I guess, you know, to perform on stage, and you're like, okay, well, this guy's a serious dude, you know, and then you listen to him, and like, this is not a serious person. This person that comes through is like, this is not a serious person.
He used to quote Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand, oh my, I hate that bitch, man.
He used to quote. No,
all listeners. You need to know I hate Ayn Rand. I hate Ayn Rand.
I'm just saying.
There's nobody on the planet I hate more. Maybe Donald Trump, but Ayn Rand is right there.
You didn't know. You didn't know that David Lee Roth was an Ayn Rand reader.
I did not know that. No.
Now you got even more of a reason not to like him.
Now I really hate him. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
No.
Sammy doesn't seem like he likes him too much either.
Yeah. I don't think. All I can say, I've met and spent time, a reasonable amount of time with Dave, like twice, and he is every bit as whacked out as you think he is, and then some.
Yeah, I don't think he's an unlikable guy. Don't get me wrong.
No,
that's why Ayn Rand
he's definitely an interesting character, but he is every bit of that character like all day long. Like that's not an act. That's really how he is. He's really that far out.
In the moment kind of guy. Yeah, I think he is. I think so too.
He absolutely
that's
is.
the impression I get.
All right. I found from 1974 Y&T at Winterland. All right, but I don't know what this quality is going to be on this video. So hang on a second. I'm going to get the album version of it in case this sounds like shithole. Only because I have Neil showing there on the screen. And he has a giant ass afro. Like, I don't know where the afro came from. I've never seen it before. I mean, maybe he was rocking it. I don't know. At some point, dudes were getting perms. I don't know why, but they were. You remember that? Did you ever get a perm, Epic Journeyman? All right, don't answer me.
No, I never did, man.
All right, good. No perms, no perms, no yoga pants. All right, here we go.
No perms, no yoga pants over here either.
All right, and no chamomile tea. All right, here comes Dave Medichetti. He's all man.
2, 3, 4. Love you, and my heart cries out to you. I love you, and I'm more than the sun comes over the heat. Baby, I'll always love you again. You mean everything in my life. Oh yeah. Come on. You're the sugar in my coffee, yeah, or honey in my tea. Wake up every morning, yeah, you mean everything to me. Baby, I'll always love you again. You mean everything in my life. Oh yeah, here we go. Woo! Oh. You're my beautiful dreamer. How I love you. You're my beautiful dreamer. How I miss you. You're my beautiful dreamer. Beautiful dreamer. How I love you. You're my beautiful dreamer. How I miss you.
Damn, man, he must be about 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. Here's the lead.
The rhythm of it sounds like, "What do you want from life?"
Well, hey, it wouldn't surprise me because the Tubes were also a Bay Area band. Here we go.
But we're talking about David Lee Roth, right? And he, in the early Van Halen, there's a beautiful dreamer. And
Little Dreamer.
It's like he almost ripped it off from them.
Probably did. That's what I'm saying, man. People don't realize, man. Y&T. Look at this is 1974. He's still fucking jumping around right now. He's got a whole band of young dudes. That's he had the replacement crew. That's actually Phil. Did you see Phil? Phil was a fucking good bass player. Phil, there he was. Where did he go? Here, let me back it up and see if I can find Phil. There he is. Phil's dead. Oh well, must be weird to be on stage and be used to looking over to your left and seeing Phil. Now you can see somebody else. Like ZZ Top, you know what I mean? They're out doing shows. Did you see that they contacted Mike Campbell about doing a Tom Petty 50 year, and they're going to have different vocalists singing?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tom Petty 50 year. He said that Mike Campbell was interested in doing it. So,
well, doing a Heartbreakers thing, really.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with the Heartbreakers getting together and having somebody step in for Tom for memory purposes.
Yeah, well, he did a lot of stuff outside of the Heartbreakers too.
Yeah.
So, but there's that one drummer before they got the black dude, the other Weasley drummer. He was always, I don't know. I don't like that guy. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot better when the Positive Energy dude came in. That guy was a whiner. I don't like him.
Well, I don't disrespect bands who replace their singers, especially if they're passed on or whatever. It's kind of a cool thing to keep the band alive, even though one of the main members is gone. Keep the music going.
Yeah, I mean,
it depends. It depends on the situation, though. I mean, you could say AC/DC did it when Bon Scott died. Some people don't like the new AC/DC, the newer AC/DC. I guess you could say.
I don't listen to it.
I know you don't particularly
He's
care
just
for
because
Brian Johnson. But.
Well, because Brian Johnson is making noises like Bon Scott. I mean, Bon Scott had a specific voice. He sounded like that. And
you get the same arguments with Sammy and Dave.
No, Sammy's completely different than Dave.
Yeah, but I mean,
Dave,
some
Sammy
people
don't
say
scream.
it's not Van Halen with Sammy Hagar because it was David Lee Roth.
Yeah, but I mean, Sammy is not a screamer. Sammy ain't screaming.
No, and Sammy was a rock star in his own right long before Van Halen. So
yeah, he was talking about it in there, and that thing where Sammy had already left Montrose and he was doing his solo thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was already big enough.
All at the same time. Y&T, Sammy, Eddie Money, all those people were all rolling at the same time. Dave,
even trying to think. There's a couple other bands that have carried on with different singers.
Yeah, there was this when that dude from Twisted Sister's on there going, yeah, they were hardcore in their area like we were in our area. We were the number ones or whatever. But what's really funny is Twisted Sister came here to Watsonville, right where I live, with Y&T to play a show. And that Twisted Sister dude, somebody threw some shit at him, threw a bottle at him or something. And he got all pissed off and started complaining. I'll see if I can find it. Hold on, go ahead.
Realistically, though, over here on the East Coast, when they started out, Twisted Sister was huge. They really were, because there was nothing like them at that point.
No big, ugly dude with a big nose dressing up like a chick.
Yeah.
Putting makeup on. I hate that.
I mean, they made a
splash. Actually, he really is.
I hated that
band.
band.
I mean, I don't particularly care for them myself, but they were a thing. They were definitely a North Jersey, New York City thing.
All right, here comes.
He had a couple court cases, right? I mean, that was the thing. Like he's actually a pretty intelligent person. That's what cracks me up. Like you wouldn't expect that.
Here comes D. Snyder on the Y&T incident. You ready?
D. Snyder.
You ready? Here you go.
Finally, it was the Stay Hungry tour. You played the San Jose Civic with Y&T and Lita Ford. I mean, unfortunately, you're playing with Y&T, who've got the worst fans of all. I mean, Y&Ts are, all those Watsonville rednecks, hooligans that used to pick on me were at the show. They all worshipped Y&T. This is my definition of a Y&T fan. I like to smoke weed, drink beer, and kick the shit out of them long-haired faggots.
Did Y&T headline that show?
Yes. That was their home area. You were in San Jose.
That was the only show that I ever left the stage early on.
Yeah, that was the second show I missed that.
I got hit. I've never left stage early.
In fact, I think Dee Snider got hit in the head with a bottle on that show.
That show, somebody was throwing bolts. Big, heavy bolts. And someone winged, they were winging them, and they winged one with force. Bruised a couple of my ribs in the middle of the show. It hit me, and one just missed my head. And they kept throwing them. I turned the lights on, well, where are you motherfuckers? Sorry. Where are you motherfuckers? And was looking for them, and they would not, of course, cowards that they are, would not identify themselves. As soon as the lights went out, and I left the stage early because I couldn't, we were getting hurt by these things, and people were throwing them. I kind of knew who they were. But they weren't known enough. I couldn't see them, first time I ever walked on stage early in the set. So, which bugs me to this day.
Yeah, I know.
After the fact, I realized what I should have done.
If you weren't into Y&T at the time, it was like everybody else sucked. Even the opening acts, if they were, our crowd could get brutal sometimes.
Burn in hell!
Man, those shows are fucking great. I'm telling you right now, man, those old Y&T shows were great. They were fun, man. Well, that ain't ever gonna happen again. Cheers. I was there.
Well, no, I think as I'm listening in on the show as a spectator, and we're talking about these bands of old and the way these live shows rolled, I just think that we're really going to be missing this in the future. Like, people are never going to understand what this was.
Mm-mm.
Like, they're just not going to get it, right? Like how it was. Like we lived through it, right? It's not that far.
Can you explain to the AI what it feels like to be the lead singer of a rock band and get hit in the head with a fucking...
No, I don't think you can, right? That's the thing. It's never going to be replicated. Like how or the Philadelphia fans throwing batteries at the Giants. I think it was that playoff game back in the early 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it knocked out the running backs coach or whatever it was, time or defensive coordinator, with a diesel battery, right, hitting them in the head. I mean, people aren't going to understand like this is a thing that actually happened. They're not going to.
No,
like,
I honestly, I'm 100% convinced that my idea will happen in the future. And what my idea was that these old archaic like Facebooks where people were on here, and there's a generation of people.
MySpace.
Yeah, well, there's a generation of people that have been on Facebook, and they've been posting shit like, what they had for dinner, where they went, all this. So at some point, I believe the technology will be available so that you will be able to go to, say, because at some point all these people are going to be dead. Okay? So all these people that have posted on Facebook in the past, lots of them have died off. Their shit's still there. It still exists. So my idea is that at some point there will be technology available for us to be able to go to a moment in a digital photograph and live that character from that Facebook, because the AI could piece together a reality for you based on those posts and
generate the video in the 3D space.
Exactly,
and all
fill
that,
in the blanks, and you could go be someone. That's what I think. I think the digital photograph in the future will hold some ability to jump into it like a portal, to be in that moment.
Well, that's what the life log was all about, right? That was the whole idea, like to log a whole lifespan of every individual through their entire life, where you can jump back to that day, March 23rd, 1989, right? And you're there, right? And then use all the other information available about that date to build the background and the infrastructure to make that scene as if it was a scene in a play work and be as realistic as possible, right, to provide the backdrop. So it wasn't available in 1989, but in 2024 it is. It is. So people 100 years from now will be able to do that. They will, even if we don't authorize them to do it.
Hey, listen.
That's the thing.
Aaron in the chat, drone free. He's becoming an electrician, and I just want to say, you know, he's a representative of, you know, he listened to the show, went and got himself.
Brother. Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I every time I see him in there, I just go, "Hey, Sparky," because he's gonna be an electrician, man. He's gonna be one smiling motherfucker, man, isn't he?
It's a good trade, man. It really is.
I know.
Take it from us IBEW people.
That's right, brother. You made the
Right.
right choice. You made the right choice, and you know, and after you got your journeyman's, you know, license, get yourself a van and just drive around fixing shit at people's houses, making thousands of dollars a week, bro. You be making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a week. Yeah, every time you stop at someone's house, Epic Journeyman, what is it, $250? You know, whatever it is, it's some easy.
Just go, yeah,
it's
yeah.
$250.
Whatever you can charge for the economy at the place you're at the time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, that's a real thing. And if you become a journeyman electrician and become after that, run a crew for a while, and then you can go ahead and get your contractor's license. It's your ticket, man. You can do whatever you want to do.
That's what
you
I'm
can
saying.
go out there and
You can go anywhere.
you know, freelance.
I mean, stay out of
anywhere.
Europe. I mean, you have to stay in America.
License work, but yeah.
Or Canada. Or Mexico.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah. It's a good trade. There's a lot of good trades out there, actually.
I think
And I encourage
Rio
more
should,
people to get involved in trades.
Rio should take on an apprentice, man. You know, Rio, you're not going to be around forever. You need somebody. You need a young up-and-comer. Why don't you get yourself one of these people, these immigrants? Teach them the ropes.
I want people who know what they're doing.
You're not immigrant friendly.
Well, it's not that I'm not immigrant friendly.
Real. Yeah.
Why don't you just find somebody? Just find a kid. Just look at them and go, "Hey, kid, come here. Let me show you.
We actually tried that a couple times.
Didn't work.
You know, when a kid comes right out of tech school and they think they're gonna, you know, when they ask me where to plug the scan tool into a '65 Mustang, you realize that they're on the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
See, the electrician would know that you can't do that.
Well,
That's where that path is right.
I think
so.
There's a big disconnect today when you're an older person, okay, and you're working with younger people. There's a thing. See, you got experience, hands-on. So you busted your knuckle. You hurt yourself. You made mistakes. This and that. And so once you get to a certain point, you don't do any of that shit anymore because you learned all the hard lessons ahead of time. And so what you do is when you teach somebody, you're teaching them the shit you had to go get beat up to learn. And you're giving it over to them. You're saying, look, dude, you know, I had to go to the hospital because I learned that you can't hold a drill like that and because it'll spin around and hit you in the fucking head. Okay? But you don't know that. You're just like, somebody says, "Hey, kid, get up there with that drill and drill me a hole." You know, if there's nobody there showing you how to do it. So now, here's what happens. Now, younger people, whatever you're doing, I don't care what you're up to. If you're training a younger person, they got a phone. Whatever you're doing and whatever you're about to train them on, before you're even there, they've already searched it and they've already found some shit and they've already read it up or whatever. So now they think they fucking know. And
yes, and they don't.
They don't.
And that's the problem.
That is the
like,
problem.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that. I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Exactly.
Sure you do.
Exactly. So this is the big disconnect because there's a big difference between watching a video or reading a little piece of paper and all the shit that I just told you about banging your head and going to the hospital and all the shit you had to learn to get to be a master at your trade. That's why the master mason wears a white apron because his shit don't get dirty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's learned all the things to keep his apron from getting dirty.
No, I still get dirty.
I know.
And, you know.
So do I. But that's not the point.
It's
the
part of the
metaphor.
job, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing too. Like you get these guys that come in and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to touch that. That's all greasy and gunky." I said, "Yeah, it's a 50-year-old car that's been leaking for the last 40. Of course, it's going to be greasy and gunky. It's part of what we do.
That's why it's here.
That's what we do.
Place.
You know, like
yeah, right.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I think that
they come out of these. Right? They come out of these dealerships, right? And they're working on stuff that's 4 or 5, maybe 10 years old at most. And they look at some of this stuff that has literally been gunky for the last 40 or 50 years, and they're like, "Oh, what do I do with that?" Well, you take it apart and you clean it. That's what you do with it. Oh, I don't do that kind of work. Well, then go home.
The risk,
like
risk or the reward of it. Like, so imagine the term risk rewards not appropriate here, but the reward of actually restoring something. So imagine that we find a World War I original tank, the ones that broke through the lines on the French border, right? That won World War I, and you find one of these tanks. I mean, there's not that many in existence right now, but you restore it and fire it up, and the engine actually works, and it works as intended. The amount of joy you get out of that, right? Like of actually making it in its original state and firing it up and making it work again. You can't replicate that. Like that it takes skill to do that. It takes knowledge to do that. You can't break it while you're trying to make it happen. You can't use new parts. You're trying to use all the original parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just clean it out and make it whatever needs to be. Got broken somewhere, part of a gear or something, and you use a foundry to rebuild that gear or whatever, and then all of a sudden it actually works. That's kind of profound, man. I mean, now apply that even 100 years before or 1,000 years before. You go back to original ships and things like that, that built the pyramids, right? I mean, imagine that. Like that is it's such a good use of our time to go back and actually.
Honestly, that's like one of the satisfactions of my job is, when you get something in that's a disaster, doesn't run, doesn't, you can't close the door, the windows don't work, whatever the situation is. And you tweak it all up and put it all back together, and at the end of the day, it's beautiful. That's when you take that hunk of junk and turn it into a diamond, that's the satisfaction. It's watching it roll out all finished.
Can't get that.
Right. I mean, it's not modernized. It's just what it was originally. You're putting it. You fix. Not fixed isn't. That's an understatement. A gross understatement.
You don't get it.
You're creating or restoring it to its original state.
You're recreating
right?
history.
And it's like reincarnating something. It's like reincarnating a person. Except in this case, it's a machine, right?
But
you're reincarnating it to its original form.
You can't do it from watching a video, though. All right, listen. We're out of here, man. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be wake and bake. All right? Here is Dave motherfucking Medichetti on our way out. I got to say, he is one of the best guitar players in the world. In case you didn't know. All right. You guys ready to go? Say goodnight.
Yeah, it looks like it's about that time.
It's about that time.
Night, everybody. Aloha.
All right. We'll see you later.
Good night, everybody.
just